The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass Amherst School of Public Policy, offering in-person and online graduate programs in public policy and data analytics. Admissions now open at umass.edu/SPP. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by Northeast Solar in Hatfield, offering personalized solar energy solutions and ongoing customer care, proudly serving communities throughout the Pioneer Valley. northeast-solar.com.
Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalil Smith.
And I'm Monty Belmonte. Later in the show, Live Music Friday with the incredibly talented Parris, who will perform at the Community Music School's Gala next week and has a new EP coming out to boot.
Oh.
That's you.
I know. Plus, the Wine Thunderdome returns to the bunker under State Street and sees the return of a face and set of taste buds we've been missing along the way. I'm totally here.
But first, it's National Poetry Month.
And even though there's only 1 week left of it,
we're still going to celebrate and uplift one of our more renowned literary magazines in the nation that also happens to be right in our own backyard. Founded in 1959 by a group of professors from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, Amherst College, Mount Holyoke, and Smith, the Massachusetts Review is one of the nation's leading literary magazines, distinctive in joining the highest level of artistic concern with pressing public issues. As the New York Times observed, it is amazing that so much significant writing on race and culture appears in one magazine.
The Massachusetts Review was named one of the top 10 literary journals in 2008 by the Boston Globe, a 200-page quarterly of fiction, poetry, essays, and the visual arts by both emerging talents and established authors, including Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winners. Special issues have covered women's rights, civil rights, and Caribbean, Canadian, and Latin American literatures. Massachusetts Review's history of significant criticism includes major work on W.E.B. Du Bois, James Baldwin, Henry David Thoreau, Nathaniel Hawthorne, and Grace Paley.
Although, as I read in the New York Times 2 weeks ago, we've been saying Henry David Thoreau wrong all this time. It's Henry David Thoreau, and there's a new PBS documentary that Ken Burns is behind where they call him Thoreau the whole time.
His name was Henry David Thoreau. Henry David Thoreau wrote about the impact of industrialization.
Craziness.
Okay, Henry David Thoreau.
No, I'm saying left is right, up is down. Anyway, with us to talk about the publication of the Massachusetts Review just in time for National Poetry Month, our executive editor, Britt Russert, and managing editor, Edward Clifford. Thank you so much for joining us. We love this review. It sits on our shared food table in our office here up until the moment when we found out we were going to talk to you, and then we went to go look for the previous issues, and they were all gone.
I did get the latest one, and I'm about halfway through it. And as the intro says, it is a hard read, but it is very good.
You're going to have to give me a minute. My mind is blown about this Thoreau news.
I know.
19th century Americanist. I mean, just having a paradigm shift.
Right?
So yeah, sign up for PBS Passport and watch it at your leisure, or watch it on PBS. But it's mind-blowing. It's crazy. I hate it, actually, to be honest
You're going to have to re-ask me the question.
This is quarterly. Tell us about, and tell us about the most recent issue.
Yeah, sure. So our most recent issue is our spring issue, which Khalees mentioned is a pretty heavy read. We do 3 general issues per year. That's, solicited work, unsolicited work, writers sending in, their poems, their essays, their stories. And then once per year, we try to do a special issue. This past year, our winter special issue was on incarceration and family. Those special issues have tended to be really impactful and allow us to take up really pressing matters. We did a special issue on Gaza 2 years ago. This special issue features incarcerated prose writers and poets. So we were working with writers on the inside, which was a really, unique and inspiring and also pretty intense experience.
And difficult, just in general, I'm assuming. We talked with this curator of an exhibit with all incarcerated art, and it was so hard to just talk to him.
Because he was still behind bars, the prison was interrupting our phone call every 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things we learned doing this issue was just, I feel like abstractly we know that this is how prisons work, but when you're putting together an issue to learn how, the prison's system is working actively on a day-to-day basis to disrupt communication and separate folks from kin and family and contacts on the inside. We did a special issue release on Zoom, which was a really incredible experience. We had folks calling in from facilities. One of our contributors was calling in from a facility in California, and, he's like doing his reading, and then we hear that message that says, you have 30 seconds until your call ends.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a really, I mean, it was a really instructive experience.
That's Britt Russert, who is a UMass professor as well as the executive editor of the Massachusetts Review. The spring edition is in stores right now, volume 67, issue 1.
But we are also joined by managing editor Edward Clifford. What does a managing editor do for an ongoing publication like the Massachusetts Review, Edward?
Yeah, it's a interesting kind of thing because to summarize it, it's basically I stare at a screen and answer emails all day. That doesn't make good stories. So really what I'm doing is I'm kind of taking what the editors want to see, what they want to publish, and basically putting all the pieces together to have it actually physically come out, to make it onto the shelf that you see. And that involves communicating with authors, corresponding with editors, figuring out what edits they want to put in, and then also using InDesign and all these other kinds of forms in order to get the actual issue into a piece of paper. And it's funny because I've been managing editor for over a year now, but I've been working for the magazine as an assistant editor, editorial assistant, and despite all the name changes, I feel like my job's just kind of stayed the same. We're such a small organization that we are kind of wearing many hats at the same time.
Don't know anything about what that's like.
It's called the Massachusetts Review, a quarterly of literature, the arts, and public affairs. And the arts part of it, the visual arts part, which is harder to talk about on the radio, but is very interesting and fun, includes the cover art. And then oftentimes I'm looking at the summer 2025 edition that I'm holding in my hands right now. Beautiful photographs or other artwork. Talk about the curation of the visual art end of it.
Yeah, thanks for asking about that. This is wonderful because actually our art director is retiring. She's Pam Glavin, who has been with the Massachusetts Review for many decades, and I'm guessing some listeners know her, know of Pam. No one will tell me, I've been in this position for a little over a year, exactly how long she's been in this position, including Pam won't tell me, but it's been a long time. And so Pam has been our art director. When you hold this magazine in your hands, the design, she's responsible for the design. She's a meticulous designer, and she's also has, a keen eye and great taste and a good eye for art. So she works in collaboration with our art editor, Mario Ontiveros, and they work very closely, keeping track on what's going on in the art world, and they solicit work from artists who they think would be a good fit in our magazine. Yeah, we have this glossy insert in every issue that features the work of one artist, and then they're on the cover as well.
What is the relationship of the Massachusetts Review to like UMass campus, to the other campuses that are involved?
I might volley this over to Eddie since he's an MFA student in the program at UMass.
Yeah, it's funny because even before I was a graduate student, which I am now, I was an undergraduate at UMass, and I was in my first year having transferred from Holyoke Community College, and I was looking for internships over the summer, and I found this one listed for the Massachusetts Review. And I met with Emily Wojcik, the former managing editor and now our business manager, and she basically said, "Do you want to come work for us in the summer?" And I was like, absolutely, I love literary publishing. And so I got to spend the summer of 2018 kind of doing similar things to what I'm doing now, just more on the periphery and kind of just watching and doing little tasks here and there. And then in 2020, I was invited to come on board as the editorial assistant. So it was really kind of amazing to be both part of the UMass Amherst literary scene, both stuff that's happening on campus, going to the literary readings, authors are always coming to town, but then also to be a part of this little production that was happening on campus that I had never really kind of known about until I was actually on campus, that the office was actually there in this little tiny, photo lab building. So it really was kind of amazing to be on campus, going to the building, speaking with Emily and Jim Hicks, the former executive editor, about what literary publishing actually looks like firsthand.
We're speaking with the managing editor of the Massachusetts Review, Edward Clifford, as well as the executive editor, Britt Russert. And we were talking about how there is a mission to deal with the tough issues that we face as a society. It has never shied away from social justice and equity issues. And it is essays and it is poetry. So when you have different departments talking about the visual art and the prose and the poetry and also a public affairs department, does everybody get together as a team and say, here is what we're going to focus on all together this issue? Or does the public affairs come forward and say, we'd like to focus on this, but poetry is going to go in a different direction? How does it work to bring the issue all together onto, if you'll pardon the pun, the same page?
We love puns. Yeah, that's a great question. When we do our special issues, we as an editorial collective pick topics that we think need, a kind of focused issue, but we often invite guest editors who we feel like can help us address that issue, right? There's a lot more focus, right, and kind of curation in the special issues, but our general issues, one of the things I really love about it is that, we work very collectively, very closely. So we have monthly editorial meetings, like as Eddie mentioned, we're small, and so we're we're all doing everything all the time, but we're in deep collaboration all the time. And I really love that there's both autonomy, like our editorial departments all have autonomy to select work that they want to see in the magazine, but then we also really work very closely together. And I have noticed too, just like, I think we really have like a shared ethical and political vision, which is not always the case in organizations. That's been making my job really easy, to be honest. But I guess the final thing I'll say about this is, my job as the executive editor, one of my jobs is when we're doing a general issue, all the pieces will come together, and then Eddie will send me everything, all of the essays, the fiction, the poetry, and then it's my job to put together the table of contents, so put everything in order, which I'm a Virgo moon. I knew I was going to enjoy this part of the job, but just, that ordering is so pleasurable for me. But what I've noticed is even though we're working autonomously, certain like themes in these general issues really kind of cohere. So, this issue, the spring issue that just came out, it was just going through, it was dark. The poetry, a lot about death and remembrances and war and violence. So there is some just kind of like coincidence and chance through the editorial process, but there is something I think serendipitous too in terms of how things come together.
I know that you've done some soliciting for writers to bring stuff to the Massachusetts Review, and then also people have submitted. How much Massachusetts shows up in the Massachusetts Review? Are these writers by and large from all over the place, or are they by and large from Massachusetts?
I would say that it's pretty widespread, both local, where we like to see ourselves as a regional magazine. We have, as Britt was saying, we have 5 college professors as editors, but we also find pieces from people who are writing in the area, both from Greenfield down to Springfield. We're also a pretty Massachusetts focused magazine, but also across the country. We have editors and contributors from here to Los Angeles and also across the globe. Really, we publish a lot of work in translation. So we try and find a mix.
Yeah, and I wanted to emphasize what Eddie said about like the fact that we're both kind of local and global. They call that glocal at the same time, and it's a thing that I really love about the Massachusetts Review.
For everybody.
Yeah, we're global.
I guess it's better than global.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know. Either one could work.
How does your work fit into your other lives at UMass? Britt, you teach in Afro-Am, and Edward, you're a MFA student. How does your work at the Review fit in with the rest of your life there in Amherst?
Yeah, it's when this job, I applied for this job last year when an announcement went out that Jim Hicks, who is a now retired professor of Comp Lit at UMass, was leaving the position because he was retiring. And I've always admired the Mass Review. I teach in the Black Studies department and know that like many people I admire, stretching back to Du Bois himself, was published in the Mass Review, Chinua Achebe, Lucille Clifton, Toni Cade Bambara, like just people that I'm teaching in my classes all the time have all been in the Mass Review. So that just seemed like a kind of natural fit for me. And it's been great. Now it's like I know deeply what's happening in every issue, and I'm taking pieces from the issue and teaching in my own classes. And it also has just been a way, I think, for me to like widen my view on the Valley itself. Over the past several years, I've started writing poetry, and I feel like the longer that I live here, the more and more I'm just surrounded by visual artists and poets and musicians, just artistic folks, And so, yeah, being the editor of this magazine has just been a great way to kind of deepen those connections here locally for me as well.
What about you, Edward? How does it dovetail with your MFA studies?
Yeah, so basically as a managing editor, you get kind of exposure to these really contemporary writers, and you get to read what people are writing now. And so now that I've sort of shifted into thinking about how I can write my own stories and my own fiction, I have that sort of insight or, that opportunity really to see what kind of writing is going on. What are people looking at? How are people writing? It really has been informative to be able to see both the process, to be able to talk to a lot of writers, and kind of, especially with we post a lot of interviews with our contributors online, so you get to see that sort of craft component. It's been amazing.
I feel like literary journals kind of come and go, but ones that are attached to academic facilities have this certain longevity. That said, the Massachusetts Review has made a significant point to be sort of a beacon for civil rights, for various social issues that weren't being highlighted. Have you experienced any pushback from either the university or the community to issues?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, we're actually, we get funding from the 5 colleges, but we're actually a nonprofit. So we have that independence, and I think that is helpful with regards to what we can and want to publish. Our former managing editor, current business manager, who Eddie mentioned before, Emily Wojcik, often says we're too small to fail, which I think is so helpful. I do think there's just something about a literary magazine that's we're a little bit under the radar. And I think, especially given the times that we're living through right now, I think that's a profound opportunity. I've just been feeling this past week like really grateful for our size and the fact that we're able to be independent, and we're also like well known, and, in response to stuff that's going on in these kind of attacks on free speech and broad scale defunding of the arts, we're gonna keep plugging along and doing what we've been doing.
I'm gonna make you pick your favorite child from the current issue. So we're gonna start with Edward. But what's your favorite work or the work that you really want people to read from the current issue of the Massachusetts Review?
We were just chatting about this the other day in the office. There's this poem that came out by Tyler Patton. It's called Poem Penetrated by Derek Jarman. And it was so interesting because it's basically a poem that's sort of split in two. So you have Patton's poems on either side, and you have Derek Jarman's poem splitting it literally 90 degrees in between. This was a poem that we really felt was, our poetry editors obviously loved it and wanted to publish it, but it was a bit of a formatting kind of process to actually put that into InDesign. It's an amazing poem. It's very challenging to read, both turning the page, but also some of the thematic elements can also be kind of, very intriguing. And so I just really love that poem for both its creativity and form, but also for the content as well.
Writers always have to kill their darlings, but now you get to choose yours, Britt.
I don't want to answer this question. I love them all. But there is an essay by Valerie Bellardelli, who's an Italian screenwriter, writer. We've had a lot of amazing writing on experiences of pregnancy and motherhood recently. And this is an essay called Daughters Plural. And it's about the experience of losing one baby of a set of twins in utero. And it's just an incredibly moving and I think very well written essay.
Britt Russert is the executive editor. The managing editor is Edward Clifford. We've been talking about the Massachusetts Review. The spring 2026 issue, the first issue for this year, is out now. You can get it at the Broadside in Northampton. You can get it at Amherst Books. The Forbes and Jones libraries have subscriptions to it. If you love the arts and want to support them, the National Endowment for the Arts used to love the Massachusetts Review. Do they currently?
We were one of the organizations who lost their funding. So we lost the NEA funding. Fortunately, our contributors have really stepped up to help us fill that gap. But we're more dependent than we have been in the past on our supporters. So we love subscribers. Anyone who wants to subscribe, we would be so grateful. We're always grateful for donations, and you can do both of those things at massreview.org.
Also, shout out to their Substack, which is very robust and really cool to read, which you can also subscribe to.
Britt Russert and Edward Clifford, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Our pleasure. And I will say that I had a hard time. I did get mine from Broadside eventually, but they're selling out. So do check. If you can't find it at a local bookstore, go to their website and just get that and any of the back issues that you'd like.
Yeah, be a subscriber that gets sent right to you.
Exactly. And then you don't have to fight through the masses like I did. Live music coming up later with Parris, where we'll learn about her upcoming performance at the Community Music School of Springfield's upcoming gala and EP 2002.
But first, we head to Northampton to State Street Fruit Store Deli Wines and Spirits for this week's Tina Turner Memorial Wine Thunderdome.
You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the UMass 5 College Credit Union, dedicated to creating access to financial well-being for local people, businesses, and communities. Insured by NCUA, umass5.coop. The Fabulous 413 podcast is funded by the Handle Factory Community Clay Studio in Shelburne Falls, hosting Molly Cantor and guests during the Asparagus Valley Pottery Trail April 25th and 26th. AsparagusValleyPotteryTrail.com.
We're back in the Wine Bunker, deep below State Street Fruit Store, Deli Wines and Spirits, the birthplace of the Wine Thunderdome, with the Wine Sun and the Yankee Sippa.
D'Artagnan.
You're calling the Yankee Sipper D'Artagnan because we're usually the three amigos.
Yes, sirree, I mean three musketeers.
And
Yeah.
sometimes the Sippa,
Yep.
who's got new responsibilities in the world of State Street.
I do. I am the operations manager for State Street Food Store now, and so I don't work with Wes.
Or as I like to say, the boring side.
I have mostly left wine and spirits, and I miss it so much. But I had a great opportunity, and I had to take it.
But most Fridays at the wine
Yes.
tasting, the free
Yep.
wine tasting, you're there doing a wine tasting.
I am still. That's my in. I have so many people who come to see me on Fridays, and I really love it. So please keep doing it.
And I love to come and just witness Sippa talk to people, especially like Smith College students of age. You like blow their mind with your wine knowledge. It's fun for me to witness that in action.
It's actually been really nice too, because it started about 4 years ago. There was a neuroscience class or a chemistry class, and they all had become sort of seniors. It was really large, and one of them by chance happened to walk by the sign. They came in, and because they were chemistry students, they were asking all these fantastic questions, and it was like 12 students would come in at a time, then it was 15, and then it was 20, and it was really amazing. And that's kind of been passed down to other classes, and I actually still have parents of those kids come in and say hi to me.
That's fun.
It's been really nice.
But if we don't know you, we're gonna card you.
Don't even try it, Esther.
Now I want to ask those students questions about cocaine pollution.
We learned about cocaine pollution.
That sounds like I should take a swim sometime soon.
There's a new Scientific American article
I
about
saw it.
cocaine pollution in fish.
You hear this article that dropped on 420? Scientists gave cocaine to salmon. Oh yeah, that was a great paper. Yeah, I didn't know the sequel to If You Give a Mouse a Cookie was gonna be so... Wait, what? Was it really? Yeah, it's good science. What's the point of doing that? Oh, there were lots, and the results weren't what the researchers were expecting, and also, cocaine actually wasn't the biggest issue for the salmon. Wait, what were they expecting? I mean, this isn't a thing. It's not like cocaine is one of the most commonly detected illicit substances in aquatic environments worldwide. What the f?
One more reason not to eat fish at the top of the food chain.
There is no adverse human effects if you eat a cocaine-polluted salmon.
Sadly
However, if you do cocaine and pee into where the salmon live, it's going to make the cocaine into a different type of chemical that is going to be even more effective in making fish swim faster than even the cocaine did.
Like,
You may be wondering, why were they looking at benzoylecgonine? What even is that? Well, it is the byproduct that is produced when humans metabolize cocaine. It is literally what urine drug tests check for.
Science, everybody.
this is totally
We're
science.
not advocating for
And
this.
Scientific American made this really lovely short about it.
I gotta get up.
Yeah,
Next month, the Scientific American, cocaine bear.
So they can get past the bear faster now. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
exactly.
saying? People are actually doing their part to
I think-
increase the salmon population.
But we're not here to talk cocaine or bears or fish or urine. We're here to talk wine. And what are we drinking in the wine bunker today, Wine Son?
We're going to drink New World wine that wishes it was Old World. We have from Lumen in the Santa Barbara area.
Not Lumen, the company that they work for in Severance.
Devour feculence.
Have you watched that show?
I have not.
It's awesome. Anyway, go ahead.
Lumen, Lumen, yes, and it is their Grenache.
Grenache, a grape we think of as being from France and Spain, Garnacha. And then what's the second one?
The second wine is from Paysanne out of the Central Coast, and they are making what they're calling Petite Pop. Le Petit
Le Petit Pop. What is pop?
Like Chateauneuf de Pop.
Oh, okay. So these are both Grenache then?
They both have Grenache, yes.
Yes.
The fake Chateauneuf de Pop has a blend of 4 grapes.
Uh-huh. And Chateauneuf de Pop in France is often Grenache heavy, right? Because it is the Rhone. So these are kind of like Rhone wannabes.
Yeah, exactly. So the Paysanne is 54% Grenache, and then we have some Syrah, Mourvèdre, and Cinsault.
Say it in so. There was a movement years ago in California, the Rhone Rangers, where they were trying to make Rhone-style wines. Is this part of that same movement?
Yes. Ian Brand is the winemaker for Paysanne. His His very first job was at Bonnie Doon. That is Randall Graham's original first project, and that's where the Roan Rangers came out of. And he was dubbed the Roan Ranger because in 1989, he was on the cover of Wine Spectator because he was one of the first people in California who's like, I cannot grow Pinot Noir here. Like, it's not working where I live, so I'm going to try something else. So really promoted trying these Rhone grapes. So he became known as the Rhone Ranger. It's now a nonprofit and does lots of things for young wine growers, from what I understand. So he's a direct descendant of the original Rhone Ranger in terms of winemaking.
Fun. Which one should we try first?
I'm going to go with the Grenache from Lumen first.
The pure Grenache before we get the contaminated Grenache.
Yeah. Is it cocaine to Grenache?
We'll find out after I go to the restroom.
No, every time I eat salmon, I want to get dental work done.
You know a little bit too much about this.
I don't even
Sippa.
know what you're talking about.
We're going to have to call you the Yankee Sniffa.
Wow.
Because we're smelling this wine, of course.
It's like, I can't respond to this.
This is super light in color. I love this. It looks like a Pinot Noir. Sometimes Grenache
It smells so good.
Yeah, it really does smell good.
Ooh, this smells it smells like ripe strawberries.
We just had some at the office. Thanks, Jill Kaufman. Khalees put the ripe strawberries in her water and made her enjoy water for the first time.
I enjoy water when it's warm. It turns out it's cold water. I have a problem.
I can't stand cold water.
I enjoy water when it's been infused by the people that were part of the study of the salmon.
Are you saying the problem isn't cocaine in salmon, it's that when humans use cocaine, their body changes the molecule, and then when that enters the water, it affects salmon and how they move and distribute in lakes in this interconnected web of biology and chemistry? Okay, you were right. It's a good paper.
This company, Lumen, was started by a guy who escaped the East Coast thinking he was moving to California to become a professional surfer.
Uh-huh.
And his wife came to visit. That's who I actually bought the wine from. She was kind of a hot ticket. She is from Eastern Mass originally. Grew up in...
She's like, this wine's wicked good, kid.
You heard about that Boston Globe reporter that exploded with her Boston accent?
I'm Emily Sweeney from the Boston Globe, and apparently a lot of you like my accent. Here we go. Trump addressed the nation last night regarding the war in Iran.
She's incredible.
It was funny. She was in the store and she was asking me, like, what's popular right now? And I said, right now we're having a minute with Greek wine, of all things.
Ah.
And we laughed about that. And 30 seconds later, somebody walked into the store and said, I was wondering if you have any Greek reds. and then she turns
Oh my
around
God, dude. Wicked pizza.
and says to him in Greek, how are you doing today? Can I come see what wine you pick out? And he couldn't believe that she was speaking Greek, and he started speaking Greek.
Oh, so he was actually Greek. He wasn't just part of the trend.
No.
He just at least knew Greek.
For millennia, it's been very trendy to be Greek.
Is anybody getting a sandy note?
Yeah,
definitely.
It's gritty.
Yeah, the grittiness. Yeah.
She described the soil in the vineyard as like if you swiped your foot along the ground, it would be like trying to walk through like the thick part of sand on a beach. Like it's so sandy, loamy.
I think this wine would go really great with salmon, but a very particular type of salmon. Yeah. Okay, wine number 2 again.
Paysan Le Petit Pape.
Le Petit Chateauneuf de Pape, which, there was a pop right there. That's cute. Chateauneuf de Pape, either the 9th house of the Pope or the new house of the Pope, depending on who you ask, from France in the Rhone, but this is a Central Coast.
Wait, from the year that they made their own Pope?
Yeah, exactly right. New Pope.
All wine regions have politics behind them.
France had that one period in time where they're like, you know what?
We need our own Pope.
We're not going to Italy.
Guess what? There's a new Pope in Washington, D.C. that's trying to pull the same thing off right now.
Yeah.
It's very important that the Pope understands. Very, very important. It would be nice not to say it.
The tyranny of evil men.
And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's just a Bible verse from the new Bible of Pete Hegseth and Quentin Tarantino.
Hello, poop.
There is a lot of poop in this one.
Yeah.
Chateauneuf de Poop.
This wine smells savory. Holy smokes.
And just
this is like California Garrigue.
A lot of trash comes out of Central Coast, California. It is one of my least favorite wine regions. However, that first one, which is nearish the Central Coast, was delicious. And this one is so smelly and wonderful. Yeah. I don't even want to drink it yet. It also smells purple, if you know what I mean. If you were a child of the 80s or 90s and sniffed markers, it smells like the purple marker.
Wait a minute, I was already in college. We were child of the 80s and 90s.
You were sniffing other things then.
I was down by the river.
I don't know if I would immediately think Chateauneuf de Pape,
No.
You know, this is supposed to be homage, but it's certainly a good wine.
It's just so California. There's no, It also, I have a savory note to it. It reminds me of olives.
It also finishes with a sweetness or a caramel type situation that would be what tells me it's California as opposed to something else.
The tannins are on the end too. Like, I don't get them right off the bat. Like, they all come right at the end to stop that smoothness. It's like a wall.
I'm wondering how many acres of Cinsault are planted in California. I bet this wine by itself accounts for about 50% of all the Cinsault.
They use like 8 different vineyards to make this wine.
They do, I know. And 7 of them are certified organic and sustainable, but one of them is like a backyard vineyard. I'm using air quotes because that's literally what the tech sheet says. So it's like somebody's house that they are just like, yeah, you can use these grapes too. Right. Cool.
Like, what are these? They're there.
But also the process to get organic certified is probably too much for somebody growing grapes in their backyard to go through. So these poor people can't put it on their label and have it as a marketing thing, but it's done probably exactly in the organic way.
It's like an Ivory sort of thing where they're 99.9% pure, and then you're just left wondering about that 0.1%.
Yeah.
Salmon.
I'm back to the first, and it was a little cola beforehand, and to me it's super cola now and strawberry.
Just a little bit.
It's also getting that sort of fruit gummy-y thing happening too.
Fruit leather.
The fruit leather that's been in the last 3 wine tastings we've had now.
It's almost as if I should have opened these wines a half hour before you got here, Monty.
We'll just have to start bringing our rocking glasses.
Yeah, or you could get the Liquid Jazz Experience decanter. Have you seen or talked to that guy yet?
No.
He was on our show a couple weeks ago. Make a rocking horse for your wine decanter and have a super thick Boston accent. Come on our show anytime.
You know, I just went online to look for patent attorneys, and there was a gentleman in East Longmeadow. So we met at the Dunkin' Donuts in Wilbraham.
Or also, if you have a super thick Boston accent, just come on the show.
Yeah, true enough.
It's appreciated.
It's a dying accent.
Oh.
Yeah. See the rise in popularity of the Boston Globe writer, who's now exploded all over. They did a story in the New York Times about the Boston Globe writer's accent.
Love it.
Remember that crazy story of the waterfront mansion that got robbed in Beverly?
Is this the possibly a first red that I've ever tasted that I might want to have asparagus with?
I can see that. I cannot see that.
I came here last Friday because I had heard tell, okay, asparagus is ready. I wanted to see in your grocery side of things, Sippa, if there was Hadley asparagus yet.
We don't have it yet.
There was asparagus, but it didn't say Hadley asparagus.
No, it was not from Hadley.
So I drove to Hadley, and there was still none on the farm stands. But then I hit Sunderland, and they were there at the millstone. So I got my asparagus.
All right.
Just starting to pop up. I've gotten the pictures from my ex-roommate who just got one tattooed on her forearm.
Your ex-roommate, Jess, she is the shot heard yearly when the first asparagus pops up.
Yeah, slightly obsessive, but like it's for a good cause.
This is the dawning of the age of asparagus.
Also, don't go out and cut your own asparagus. There's a very specific way to do it. People do.
Where do they go? Do they rob people's farms?
They rob.
How dare you?
The farmers have told us who bring us asparagus. They're out there just cutting up the plants.
Oh my God! Don't do that.
I figured out a solution for this. There was a report in a Scientific American.
Like asparagus takes years, like literally years to grow.
And then imagine what your pee would smell like then.
Anyway, back to wine.
Well, before we get back to voting, book rundown. I read The Rise and Fall of Dodo at your suggestion, Brian Stevenson, and a co-author whose name escapes me right now. I loved it.
Okay, good.
It's about like the mysterious vanishing of magic, but it also comes up with an incredible reason why magic vanished from the world. I thought it was great. I wish there was a sequel, even though there's not. But
there actually is a sequel.
Is it like a graphic novel though, or something?
No, it's not written by him. It's only written by her.
Oh.
And I'm about halfway through it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like that would be a really interesting thing to read alongside The Strange Tale of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. That is about the last 2 magicians on the British Isles who have very differing opinions about how magic should work. One was the apprentice of the other. They have a falling out, and it follows them basically through the Napoleonic Wars into an accidental war with the Fae.
I finished rereading the Malazan Book of the Fallen, all 10 volumes. And I absolutely loved it as much as I loved it the first time.
And I'm reading the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin right now. I'm almost done with it.
I'm so sad we missed her at UMass.
Yeah. 2 more in that series to look forward to.
Oh my God, I gotta start reading again. All I do is look at spreadsheets. That doesn't count.
Why isn't this asparagus Hadley asparagus yet? This is a tough decision for me. Usually I have a pretty clear understanding of what I'm going to do right away.
Well, I'm just going to go for it, Mike.
Do it.
Go for it,
I'm
Wine
vote
Son.
for the Lumen Grenache.
Your innie and your outie approve.
You must eradicate from your essence childish
folly.
I have to vote for the Paisan. I know nothing will ever replace France for me in my palate. And I don't ever drink California, but there's something about this Paisan. This is more savory and interesting to me. And I think for me, it's less sweet and more food friendly. So I vote Paisan.
I think I want the Lumen. I am weird where tannins are concerned. I want the tannins to remain the same. All the other flavors can totally change as much as they can, but like when tannins start creeping up, I start liking it a little bit less. So I'm going to vote for the Lumen.
I too am going to vote for the Lumen because the Paisan is just a little bit too California in its attempt to not be California. It's too much. It's too into itself.
It's so weird because I think the Lumen is so sweet that I lost interest in it the second time around.
Well, guess what else you lost? The freaking Thunderdome.
That's okay. That's okay. I'm going to go home and console myself with a plate of salmon.
And scene! And now, Live Music Friday with Springfield's own multi-hyphenate performer, Parris. We'll hear about her upcoming performance at the Community Music School of Springfield and about her new EP and more.
I don't know how I couldn't have predicted that. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It's Live Music Friday, and we are joined by the New England native musician and songwriter Parris, who's inviting everyone to the dance floor with 2002. The EP serves as a vibrant time capsule and a personal manifesto. Born in 2002, Parris uses this project to remind listeners that she is young, free, and refuses to be defined by the weight of her past. Found on her 2024 debut studio album, All's Good.
Sonically, the project is a mixed bag of influences, from the classic house pulse of Runway to the shimmering disco energy of About Me. Parris showcases a vocal and creative range that refuses to be boxed in. In the funk-fueled yeah yeah and the nostalgic R&B soul of Main Thing, 2002 is the sound of an artist stepping into her power and choosing joy as her primary act of rebellion.
She'll debut music from this upcoming project as she headlines the Community Music School of Springfield's 2026 Spring Gala on May 1st, and she joins us now for Live Music Friday. Welcome back to the studio.
Like several years of trying.
Let's start out with a song.
It's a race to the moon and a space coming soon. Make way, make room. Me and my girls are coming through. Lift off all of the colors, show off all of the colors of your love. I know that you wanna touch. You keep on looking straight in my eyes like it's your very first time. Oh, I give you all that I got. I'm just saying, talk to me nice. Why not to talk to me twice? 'Cause you don't know about me. Oh, I'm dancing in the rain. You don't know about me. Lights, camera, action, I'm flashy. I'm dancing the whole night away. Whole night away. Don't need no distractions, quit it. Then you're playing these old silly games. From the time we go inside, you'll always be my pride. Wanna tell you all my secrets, promise me you'll keep it. Ask me what's my sign, Sag, Moon, Gemini, my type. You don't know about me, baby. Move to the beat, feel that love, dance, dance, feel that love, feel that, move to the beat, from the field, come catch a wheel. Up in the air, that's mass appeal. If I get there, let's make a deal. Let's make it bad, let's make all the skeletons in the closet. Forget the secrets, keep the gossip. If we're coming on it, I'm gonna top it. And if I'm running for it, I'll never stop it. So now I'm flowing down the road with my pretty dress on. Speaking in your home, baby, turn the TV on. This is my stage and this is my song. Put the show on the road and turn the mic on. I'm moving to the beat with my shoes off. High heels on deck for the moonwalk. Tight seals, big checks for the bandmates. Nicky on the drums and I'm looking for a stalemate. I'm looking for an end. I'm looking for a friend. I'm looking for who is ready to begin. This sing in the rain. Move it to the beat again and again. I guess I'm insane. I'm popping my brain. I'm looking to claim my spot in the game. If you need to know, if you need to know, you don't know about me. Oh, I'm dancing in the rain. You don't know about me.
Hell yeah.
Ooh, great new stuff from Parris. Live Music Friday here in the fabulous 413.
There is something just so nostalgic about the resonance of your voice. I love it so much.
Thank you.
Talk to me about all the instruments that you play, because initially you were going to bring a bandmate and rock out on your trumpet, but you're here.
You're an excellent trumpeter.
Yes. How many do you play? Which one are you more gravitated towards when you write for yourself?
Well, I play more than 2 instruments. Usually I just tell people that I play 2 instruments. It's easier that way. But
then they don't ask you to come and bring the other one. You're like, I dropped that like 5 years ago. I barely remember how to do anything.
Well, I was a band kid, so, all the brass instruments. So I French horn and baritone horn and trumpet and a little bit of tuba now. I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And they keep asking me to play more, and I'm like, I don't know. And then I do, and I'm like, okay, this is stressful. But I always write all my instruments. I always write all my songs on the keyboard. I find myself gravitating towards just a piano, and then all the orchestration comes from there.
Did I hear correctly in the lyrics to that last song that your sign is Satchmo and Gemini? Was that how you said it, or did I mishear it?
Sag Moon and Gemini.
Oh, I was like, Satchmo and Gemini. That's cool to say that, like, your sign is part, like, instrument and jazz icon.
Well, I actually wish that those were my signs, but actually this song features another queer artist based in New York, Xavier Flowers, so I'm actually singing his verse.
Oh, cool.
I have a Virgo sun and a Gemini moon, so we share sometimes.
Well, talk about this album, 2002, this EP,
Yes.
and how it's different from, in the intro we mentioned your debut album compared to this EP right now, and what the message you're trying to get out.
Yeah, with All's Good, I felt like I had a story to tell, and it was really important that, as that being my debut album, that, I show that vulnerable side of myself, because I feel like people see the costumes and they see the absurdness and the dress and everything like that, and they forget that I'm a human.
Yeah, you do. You may have seen Parris in there's a great photo or a little video of you on your website about you in Pride, Hampshire County, and there's a wonderful photo of you at Michael Jackson style reclining with your trumpet,
also,
in a great suit.
You're currently wearing a jacket that looks like liquid.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's a human side of you too. After you just said, don't focus on all that other stuff. There's a human, and I went right to the clothing. But do talk more about the human side that you wanted to get out in 2002.
In 2002, I wanted to remind myself mostly that I am only 23, because sometimes I get in my head and I hold myself to a standard that is unrealistic, and I don't want other people to hold themselves to that standard. And I think right now we need a little bit of fun, we need freedom, and recognizing that that's part of the visibility that I'm trying to share as well. Yeah.
Cool.
It makes me feel old that 2002
Yeah, we
is
won't.
your birth
Yeah,
album.
that's after I graduated
If you think
from college.
23 is old,
After.
wait till you talk to us.
Yeah, no, it's okay. The Twin Towers were never around during your
Yes,
lifetime.
I know. That's true.
Let's take a little break and come back and hear more from Parris and talk with her about this upcoming gala event and maybe some more about her music, which is fantastic, and other things.
It's Live Music Friday here in the fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Why are you so emotional?
Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. It's Live Music Friday, and our special guest has a new EP out called 2002, and she will be playing as part of the Community Music School of Springfield's Gala on May 1st. We are joined by Parris. Let's hear another song.
All of the moments I've wanted to recite that'll make you feel alright, dear. Your soulless agenda is breaking my heart, and that makes you feel alright. When I look over my ego, baby. When I step over my fears, baby. What you stole, they won't know, even if they see it in your hands, babe. If I ask you one more time, can I stay with you one more night? Do I need you in my life? Do I need you on my line? Are you not satisfied with what I've sacrificed? Have you not realized that if I learned to love myself, they'd call me insane. But if you're with someone else, it'd be a damn shame. Have I learned a thing or two? Am I done messing with you? If I learned to love myself, I'd be the main thing. Yeah. Make way, I'm making my name. The same way you thought what you claim could take away from how you behave, or what you thought you could claim, or how your bed's made. If I ask you one more time, can I stay with you one more night? Do I need you in my life? Do I need you on my line? Are you not satisfied with what I've sacrificed? Have you not realized that if I learn to love myself, be insane. But if you're with someone else, I'd be a damn shame. Have I learned a thing or two? Am I done messing with you? If I learned to love myself, I'd be I'm looking to find, I'm looking for the light. I'm keeping it tight, thank God you ain't in my life. I'm sitting here straight, no time for the hate. I'm still in my faith, thank God we ain't procreate. Baby, come to make it thing. If I learned to love myself, they'd call me insane. But if you're with someone else, it'd be a damn shame. If I learned a thing or two, I'm done messing with you. If I learned to love myself, I'd be the main thing.
Parris! Live Music Friday here on the Fabulous 413. The new EP is called 2002.
Talk about collaborating with folks, because you collaborate with people here. The last time we saw you, you were here with Indie celebrating their debut album. And you're talking about like folks that you're collaborating with in New York, and like just talk about like your band members that you bring around yourself and those connections that you make musically.
Yeah, I sometimes I look at myself, I'm like, I get very tight when I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff.
Virgo, remember.
A little Satchmo there. Yeah.
But I've been, learning just how powerful collaboration can be, and it's been a really a great experience that I've been really thankful for. Yeah.
What's your relationship with the Community Music School of Springfield? You're a Springfield native, and tell us about that relationship.
Yes. So one of the things that I do at the Community Music School of Springfield is actually I'm a sonido musica teaching artist.
Nice.
So it's been a pleasure over the last couple of years being able to teach throughout Holyoke, Springfield, from like 4th grade all the way to seniors. I mean, it's just, and they're just so adorable. They're so and CMSS does so many things and offers so much programming, from young to older in life, and I'm proud to be a part of that.
And the Spring Gala to support the Community Music School of Springfield is May 1st at 6 p.m. And our guest, Parris, is I'm going to say the headliner, whether
Yeah.
you are or not.
No, she's
of the musical aspect of that. You can support the music school at the same time. And then if we miss you there, we will catch you locally at least one of the prides, right? In Franklin County.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Franklin County Pride is a lovely, lovely time. Also, we hear there are congratulations in order. Why would we be congratulating you?
Oh, my goodness. Well, for a while, folks may have known me as Richard Parris Scott. Love that name. Pretty iconic. Love it. But as I've grown into myself and as a trans and queer individual, I'm really proud to say that I'm currently in the legal process of changing my name from Richard Parris Scott to Rochelle Andrea Parris Scott.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I had asked off the air, if you're changing your name legally, can you change it to just Parris? But I don't, if Cher couldn't do it, then maybe none of us can have just one name legally.
I mean, you can, if you're big enough, you can just have a symbol.
That's true.
That's true.
And I guess in some ways, legally, Prince did have a symbol and a symbol only because it was his way of sticking it to the record label.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. So congratulations.
Thank you.
But also, in the brief minute-ish we have left, you mentioned that you're a part of the Sonito program. What's it like also being a part of that program in these schools and being kind of an example of queerness for those kids to see too?
Well, kids, they see everything, and you can't get anything past them, and they taught me so much about myself. But also I've learned so much, and I feel like I went in a little fearful. I went in just kind of almost a smaller version of myself, but they have taught me so much about just focusing on the music and focusing on the time that we share together. They've been so accepting of me, and I've been so accepting of them. It's been a really beautiful experience.
I was a band kid too, and I will say that the band was always the safe haven for anybody who was outside of the mainstream, and I am glad to see that that's still the case.
It's either band or theater. That's where we all go.
Even if you were born in 2002, it's still the same case. And 2002 is the name of the new EP from Parris. She will be playing at the Community Music School of Springfield's Gala on May 1st, and she's been performing for us here at Live Music Friday. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And go get ready to order it on her website, y'all.
Next week on the Fabulous 413, the film Watching Mr. Pearson, which will have a screening at the Greenfield Garden Cinemas.
And we'll see an exhibit at Smith College Museum of Art that centers accessibility.
We'll have musicians Madeline Peyroux and Emily Wells. We'll have a tour of Amherst Media as they ready for their gala.
And because it is National Poetry Month, we will have a live show at the Emily Dickinson Museum with 2 local poets.
That's on Monday. I'm Monty Belmonte.
I'm Clee Smith. Go listen to good music. Have a good weekend.
All the time. Feel tempted to respond to you.